Hey, soul family. I'm Gabby. Welcome to my Spiritual Awakening channel. I wanted to talk a little today about what they are not telling you about your spiritual awakening. Okay? There are a lot of things that you can harp on and highlight and discuss about how amazing it is when you have a spiritual awakening and when all these new concepts and these new ideas have been shown to you that's always been there, but you just didn't see them before, you know. And it's miraculous, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to downplay that, but I want to chat a bit about what they don't really disclose to you. And when I say they, I mean, you know, the spiritual leaders and the gurus and all the people, you know, that we love and admire and who help us along our journey. And it could be a reason why they don't tell you this at first, because it might discourage you. But I'm here to keep it real as usual. So, in my opinion, there's a few things that go on, such as you get anxiety and depression still, even after your spiritual awakening. Only it's directed in a different way now, and maybe you can manage it better now, but you still get it. You still feel, you know, depressed about certain things. Even more so now that you know the truth about, you know, reality to a certain extent, because you can always learn more. There's always more to learn and understand on this journey. But they don't tell you that people somewhat expect you to always be a happy-go-lucky person and that everything is just rainbows and butterflies. But in actuality, that's not the case. You do go through your depressive moments. You no longer realize death as final. You view death now as something that is just a way for the soul to exit the body, to move on to the next body, to move on to the next phase. However, they don't tell you that that doesn't take away the fact that you miss your loved one that passed. You know, that you still cry and you still go through it and you still grieve and miss them. Not only do you feel depression, but you also get angry still. Some of the things that you were oblivious to, now you're no longer oblivious to. And now they make you angry. For example, you may not have looked at the government on a large scale, or looked at your local government or the city and the towns that you live in. You might not have paid attention to certain things that was going on. Maybe, you know, you were in that bubble. But now you look around and you see, you know, all these homeless people. And you see all of the politicians and what they focus on and what they ignore. You know, the drug epidemic, all of the poverty. You know, you may have been in your bubble not paying attention to it prior to your spiritual awakening. But what is not told to you is that now that you have a more, I would say a more awakened perspective, you're closer to the ascension to enlightenment. None of us are fully enlightened yet, but we're closer. We're headed in the right direction. Once you become that, though, now you see everything that you ignored. Everything that didn't bother you before bothers the shit out of you now. Okay? And believe it or not, you know, the law of attraction is amazing. It can work wonders if you have the mental clarity and the focus to remind yourself of the laws of attraction, okay? The laws of vibration, in order to vibrate high enough to attract what you want. You know what I mean? But they don't tell you that it takes a lot of work, because you're still living in your current reality. You're still living paycheck to paycheck. You still don't have all the things that you desire. And it takes work to manifest. So yes, you know, they tell you what you can do and what you're capable of. And it's amazing, right? But don't leave out the facts that there's work to be done to get to that level. The level of accomplishment that they have did not come easy, but they skip some of it, you know, and say, listen, this is how you need to do it. But apply it to a practical way of living. Apply it to the daily lifestyles of us all. You know, us who still work, us who still are trying to master the law of attraction and some of the pitfalls that we experience, you know. Another thing that they don't tell you is that your appearance is gonna change, and it's gonna shape the way other people view you. You might start looking more spiritual once you have a spiritual awakening. By default, it happens. You know, I still recognize myself, even though I had a spiritual awakening. I still, you know, enjoy certain things materialistically. I still like my makeup. You know what I mean? Even though I stopped eating, you know, like meat and all of that, it doesn't mean that I won't wear fur in the winter. I'm just saying. The reality is, just because you have a spiritual awakening, it doesn't mean that you're not a human anymore and you're this ascended being. No, you still are here in the grind like the rest of us. Only the difference is your perspective might be one that is more conscious of what's going on. And even though negative things are happening, you can decipher now in ways that you couldn't decipher before. You can break down the reason for why that negative thing had to happen in order for this situation to be what it is now. You can forget the past, forget the future, and live in the now. Whereas other people are still complaining about the past, still looking forward to the future, and not being present in the now moment. So there's, you know, subtle changes, but you still battle it. You still have your days where you're dwelling in the past. And then you have to stop yourself. And you have to, you know, go like, okay, yeah, I'm having a moment. And I'm human, and it's natural. And, you know, even though I'm an immortal soul being, I'm having a very, very human experience right now. I'm having a real human moment right now. And that's just has to be what it is. That's okay. So just realize that people who have a spiritual awakening are not above you. Nobody is above anybody. We're all on the same level in terms of being one. We may not be on the same level in terms of our level of consciousness or our level of awareness, but we are still one. We're all an important piece of the puzzle. We all are a part of the body of God. See what I'm saying? So if you imagine God as a body, you know, he still needed his fingers and his toes and his eyeballs and his lips and his tongue and his nose and his teeth. You see what I'm saying? It's all necessary. It's all different, but it's all necessary. So Your point is necessary. Your experience is valid. Don't discredit people who are not fully awakened yet. They'll get there. And if you're, awakened, don't think that you can't wake up even more. Don't think that there's nothing else for you to learn and that you're this complete enlightened being as if you were Buddha or Jesus Christ. You still have a long way to go. We all do. So just humble yourself, I would say, and accept those moments when none of your spiritual tactics are working and you still feel down in the dumps and your frequencies dip. Because that's what frequencies do. Frequencies are not meant to be high and on one level all the time. There's no challenge in that. So I would say what's been working for me is embracing those lows and looking forward to the highs, and saying to myself, you know what, right now I'm feeling a bit down. I'm accepting that. Right now there's some inner work that I need to be focusing on. So let me do that so that way when my energy shifts and my vibrations get higher, I can fully be present in that moment too. So I just wanted to, drop the bomb on y'all. Anyway, I love you all. I appreciate you. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I keep fresh content coming. Videos are always on its way. Definitely shoot down a comment. We can have a conversation about it. Any information that I don't know, I greatly appreciate it. And your comments and your likes and your shares and subscribes are super, super appreciated. In my highest gratitude. I love you all. Have a great day and love and light.